This is CBC Here and Now.
Most people that do work at home, they have the full day to be able to put that work in place.
I mean, it's fine if you're happy with sitting your child in front of a screen or an iPad and not interacting with them.
Juggling work from home and looking after the kids, parents tell us why they should have access to childcare.
The phone has started ringing, so that's really positive for us that people are thinking about vacations and they're looking forward to their staycation in Newfoundland this year.
Adventure tourism on the West Coast prepares to reopen and hopes that the tourists will come. Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Peter Cowan. We begin tonight with the struggle parents are facing working from home. They've been told they can't access childcare spaces because they don't have to go to work. The Premier is defending that move, saying most people can juggle both. Here's what he told me at yesterday's briefing.
Most people that do work at home, they have the full day to be able to put that work in place, and therefore, services could be provided for the second period once their job is done. So there's a number of different circumstances that we will need to be able to look at. But keep in mind that in June the 26th is usually when school would close in other years as well. So we're going to continue to work with families, and if this puts undue pressure, well, it's always room for opportunity to review those programs.
So, is it really that easy? Well, the parents I talked to today certainly don't think so. Not having childcare and having to work from home has been a struggle. 3 parents shared their experience with trying to do both.
I feel like that was a pretty a way to kind of group everyone to the same category. Like, if you have older kids, it's probably a bit more manageable, but with younger children, like it's virtually impossible. Like, you can't do both at the same time. You have to pick one over the other and try to fit both of them in when as much as you can. And it's impossible. You fail at one, at least, if not both.
I don't agree at all. Well, it's fine for probably, 1 or 2 hours a day, but for a full work day, I mean, it's fine if you're happy with sitting your child in front of a screen or an iPad and not interacting with them. But that's not me, and I feel guilty. I want to be doing things with him. I want him to be active. I want him to be playing and socializing and things. So I guess it depends on what type of parent you are, but I certainly don't agree with that comment.
I'm not sure how I'm going to handle it if classes don't resume in the fall. My daughter is going into grade 12. She has Asperger's and ADHD. She requires special supports. My son has severe autism. He is going into grade 8. He requires a full-time student assistant. And even if I wasn't working, I would not be able to homeschool.
How can I help with virtual learning and the teaching part of it while I'm trying to work? Like, I don't feel like I'm doing a great job in either. I feel like I'm doing 50% parenting, 50% at my work. And that's not me. I want to be able to focus on my job and focus on my work. But I also want to be focused on parenting. And I personally have a very difficult time doing both. And I'm not happy with the outcome, and maybe my standards are higher than they should be. I don't know, but I kind of feel like a failure.
I don't think it's fair to just label and say that it's easy. It's very hard, and I think we're fortunate in the situation that we're in, but it's still been very hard. So I want people to be aware of how much, people are struggling.
I have found in my work situation, my employer has been incredibly accommodating. I'm a lawyer. I work in the courts. The courts are incredibly accommodating and understanding. My son burst into song one day in the middle of a bail hearing, and everybody was, I'm not sure if they were entertained, but they seemed to enjoy it. And my clients are also very understanding. So, if you don't have kids and you're wondering why the person working from home with kids is not answering right away, is not acting on requests right away, or just seems like they're in outer space when you're dealing with them, just try and show a little sympathy, I guess.
Some good news today. There are no new cases of COVID-19 and another person has recovered. That leaves 2 active cases of the disease in the province. One person remains in hospital, the other is recovering at home. Hundreds of Memorial University educators, staff, and alumni have signed a letter saying they're disappointed with comments from the university's new president made about the oil and gas industry last week. They say Vianne Timmins gave the industry open-ended support, and when she added her voice to a call for more federal support for Newfoundland and Labrador's oil and gas sector. As Here Now's Mark Quinn reports, more than 400 people have signed the letter criticizing Memorial's president.
Memorial University is deeply connected to the oil and gas industries, but the hundreds of people who signed the letter say they want that to change over the next few decades. And they want to hear the president promise that that change will happen.
Memorial has to be independent of government pressures and industry pressures to lead the way in technological innovation, scientific research, and tying our fate to any single industry, whether it be oil and gas or any other industry, really infringes on this academic independence.
But when MUN's president spoke last week at a news conference in support of the province's offshore industries, that wasn't her message.
We all share a common goal, and that is to make sure we continue to build a dynamic oil and gas industry for the benefit, not just of our great province, but of our entire country.
Memorial's senior leaders had signed the Climate Crisis Pledge only back in September, and given this exciting traction on the issue, we were disappointed to see what seemed to be a step backwards.
Timmins has read the letter and responded. She says she'd be happy to meet with its authors.
Well, when I first received the letter, I was actually pleased to see so many of our faculty, staff, and students engaged in this really important global issue.
Timmins isn't committing to divesting from oil and gas in the years to come.
Well, I can't speculate. We live in this province. We are funded by this province, and I need to recognize that reality that we're in.
Reaction to the letter on social media was swift. Critics say buildings like this one at MUN couldn't have been built without money from the oil and gas industries. The authors of the letter say they understand that, but they hope that MUN can decouple from the oil and gas industries in the decades to come. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
Still with oil tonight, in our series Changing Course, we're looking at the impact of the price of oil on this province. The price of Brent crude dropped dramatically over the last several months, starting even before the pandemic hit, but it dropped even lower during the COVID-19 crisis, hitting a low of $21 a barrel back in April. Today, it's trading at about $40 a barrel, still significantly lower than where it has been. Here's Anthony with this look.
Well, it's no surprise to hear that oil is suffering during COVID-19. It was in trouble really before the pandemic started. Joining me now to talk about oil is Bob Cadigan. So Bob, give me a sense of how challenging is the oil sector right now in our province?
I think, Anthony, it's probably the toughest times I think the industry has seen since the early days, since it started. The investment capital is going to really evaporate. Companies are going to have to decide where to spend the limited investment dollars, and that doesn't really bode well. That doesn't bode well for us in the situation we're in right now.
We've seen so many news conferences announcing this project, this possibility. Right. Give me a sense of your assessment of what might be held up as a result of where we are right now.
Yeah, well, I think it's particularly dangerous time because the Terra-Nova project went through sort of a review as to whether or not they could continue or extend the life of the project. And they had, I think, come up with sufficient resources to put another 20-25 years on the Terra-Nova project. And since COVID, they canceled the refit program that was going to be done in Spain. And now I think whether or not Terra-Nova actually continues into the long term is up for grabs.
Right, and why does that matter?
In the case of Terra-Nova, I think the direct employment is well over 1,000. I think it's 1,300 to 1,500 in that range. And when you take those jobs and spin-off jobs, you're talking about the livelihoods of 2,000 to 2,500 people for sure.
Bob, do we just sit back and sort of take the pain here? Is there anything that governments can do? I mean, really, we're a relatively small player in the global oil industry, but what can be done?
Well, I think the reality of it is other proactive regions like Norway Norway has a bill that is in front of its parliament right now that provides assistance, I'm not quite sure, tax breaks and so on, to companies developing new oil and gas projects in Norway. Based on what I hear from industry, is the impact on a project could be to reduce the costs as much as $8 per barrel US. So if we take a project in Norway versus a project in Newfoundland offshore, that's $8 a barrel in savings or lowering of the investment cost for a project in Norway versus a project in Newfoundland and Labrador. It's clearly going to be a Norwegian project that moves forward under those circumstances.
What's your sense of the political will here to really address oil when so much else is sort of on the political radar?
We look locally, there are a lot of challenges, but we've got to consider the fact that in 2017, $1 billion of the provincial budget was supplied by royalties from the oil and gas sector, and that doesn't include taxes and sales tax and people spending money and so on. And also then you have to look at the employment impacts. So it's really important that the government of Canada and the government of Newfoundland provide some fiscal incentives so that oil companies can compete with countries like Norway.
All right, Bob Cadigan, appreciate your thoughts. Thank you very much.
Okay.
The opposition says government needs to do a better job of documenting how it makes decisions after a report by the Information and Privacy Commissioner. As we told you last night on Here and Now, the Commissioner found that department officials deleted an email that it shouldn't have, central to the controversial hiring of a Liberal staffer into a job at the Rooms. Well, tonight the opposition says that's not good enough. I asked the PC MHA and critic for this area what the Commissioner's findings meant for her, especially when it looked at why there was no paper trail for many of the key decisions.
That's really not a very good approach to good governance. I don't think it's consistent with accountability, with transparency. There's a cloak of secrecy that's involved there, and we have to strive for better than that.
So if you were in government, would you actually bring in legislation requiring a duty to document? Because it's not just this government. We've seen in the Muskrat Falls inquiry, the last PC government, similar problems with things not being written down.
I would absolutely implement, or I would support anyways, the implementation of the legislation being amended to include a duty to document. We as MHAs, we need to maintain public trust. And, when we don't have that, that is concerning.
A little bit of everything in the forecast for the next couple of days, even the bad 4-letter word that starts with S up through Labrador. We'll have all the details coming up.
Welcome back to Here and Now. The tourism industry is changing course this summer. Adventure tourism operators in Western Newfoundland are almost ready to open, but they've had to make some last-minute safety and cleaning changes. Here and Now's Troy Turner explains.
There will be screams from the wire, new shorelines to explore, high ropes to draw out fears, and paddle boards to balance on. Adventure tourism in Western Newfoundland is on the cusp of another season, even if there are still unknowns.
A small percentage of our clients are Newfoundland residents, usually, but we do have the capability of developing some new products that we've been doing. We have more time this year to do things that have kind of fallen by the wayside the past couple of years in terms of marketing and figuring out some new experiences for people. And I think Newfoundland residents are really going to spread themselves out this year in the province and go to places they haven't gone before.
Grossmore Adventures has been collaborating with other operators in the region and ensuring all precautions are in place for a June 15th opening. Many of the company's offerings are already physically distanced. It's also adding activities specifically for staycationers.
We've had, in the past 2 weeks, a lot of correspondence with people throughout the province. The past 2 weeks have just started to, the emails have started coming in, the phone has started ringing. So that's really positive for us that people are thinking about vacations and they're looking forward to their staycation in Newfoundland this year.
Marble Zip Tours is ensuring equipment is ready and last-minute measures taken for a June 8th opening.
It's good we can get open, and it's early enough to let us prepare, because June month is not a busy month until we get into July. So I think that will allow us to gradually, adjust to the difference, to how we work.
Marble Zip and the High Ropes course focus on the thrills, but the entire experience is what brings people back. Flynn says that won't change.
All of our guides will be returning, so it's other than keeping a distance, nothing. I don't think there will be much of a change in experience at all.
It won't be long now before people will be zipping over these roaring falls on a wire high above me. And while it's difficult to say how the season will go for local tourism operators, they want people to know that the doors will be open to everybody soon. Troy Turner, CBC News, Steadybrook.
The annual Labrador Cup won't be happening this year because of COVID-19. The indoor soccer tournament has been canceled for the first time in 37 years as public health rules about travel and physical distancing continue. The week-long event usually brings teams from nearly every community in Labrador to compete in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Now organizers are trying to keep people engaged by moving the competition online. They're asking people to show off their soccer skills on social media and holding an online trivia competition.
Weather update is brought to you by the sold-out HCF Home Lottery. Thank you, Newfoundland and Labrador. Your support has been overwhelming. Prize winners will be announced on June 25th at hcfhomelottery.ca.
Time to bring in Ashley for a look at the weather. Ashley, you're not outside tonight.
No, I wish I was outside tonight, but it's a little chilly here in the east, significantly cooler than it was yesterday. In fact, it's 10 degrees cooler. Let's take a look at those temperatures across the island. 10 degrees here in St. John's was the afternoon high. Those temperatures along the west coast, much warmer, 21 degrees in Corner Brook. And your temperatures in Labrador significantly cooler as well. Happy Valley Goose Bay at 4 degrees, Nain sitting at 3, and Labrador City, you're at 9 degrees. You're the warm spot. Right now, you're actually going to see some snow move in, or at least the potential for some wet snow move in overnight, and that's thanks to this low pressure system. So right now, it's sitting just to the southwest. And it's bringing rain with it. The radar in the east is out right now, but we will see some heavy rain as we head through the overnight tonight. You can see some of that cloud cover, higher cloud cover, move in as well. So there's that heavy rain I was talking about. That will continue through the overnight, spread through central, even parts of the northern peninsula. We'll see some heavy rain tonight. And there's that snow I was talking about up through Nain as well as Lab West. Again, likely not going to see any accumulation from this, but it will certainly be mixed with rain at times, and that will generally continue as you head into the first half of tomorrow as well. So we do have those rainfall warnings in for the Canaga Peninsula as well as the Burin Peninsula. Those will likely end overnight, but but we are still looking at some significant rainfall. This takes us through to Wednesday morning, so anywhere from 30 to as much as 50 millimeters for the southern half of the Avalon, and then here in the metro area looking at about 10 to 20 millimeters by the time the morning rolls around. So tomorrow morning and into the early afternoon, we should actually see some clearing skies for the Avalon and parts of eastern Newfoundland. Otherwise, we're looking at that potential for showers moving through. They'll become more scattered in nature through the afternoon, and we'll probably see some peaks of sun through central as well. And then note those gray skies will generally continue on the west coast, maybe a few peaks of sun. But that next round of heavy rain will move in overnight and into the day on Thursday. So temperature-wise, chilly again, anywhere from 12 to 14 degrees, a little cooler down for Port aux Basques. You're looking at about 8 degrees, but otherwise, again, that chance of showers through central and the west coast, and then that snow in the mix for you in Lab City up through Nain. That'll change back over to rain. For Thursday, looking at some rainfall for most of eastern Newfoundland. Otherwise, some sun in the mix. Temperatures are starting to rebound back into that 20-degree range. Corner Brook sunshine and 18 degrees. Looks like a beautiful Thursday for you. And then hanging on to that potential for some flurries through Lab City. Your 5-day forecast looking fairly nice as we head into the weekend. 20 degrees it looks like for Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday at this point looking a little rainy with temperatures in the teens. And then for the west coast as well as central, again temperatures into the 19-20 degree range, a little bit unsettled on the west coast. Looks like sunshine for you on Friday and central, and then the same thing as you head into Sunday at 18 degrees. And then up through Labrador, you're looking at generally gray skies for Lab West, temperatures in the single digits, rebounding slightly at the end of the weekend. And then it looks like nothing but sunshine, maybe a few cloudy periods on Saturday, but then Sunday looks lovely at 16 degrees. Wanted to share this great shot of Mama and her ducklings in Big Good Park in the Goulds. Thank you so much to Millie for sending that in. If you have any weather photos to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Well, at least the ducks are out there enjoying the weather.
That's
Back to Here and Now. The unrest over George Floyd's death continues across many U.S. cities, even as Donald Trump threatens to send in the military to crack down on violent protests. A massive crowd gathered today to march against police brutality and racism through the streets of New York City. Los Angeles also saw largely peaceful demonstrations, but the past 7 days have also been marred by violence, looting, including reports of excessive use of force by riot police. 20,000 National Guard soldiers have already been deployed across nearly 30 states to assist local police. At least 9 deaths and more than 5,000 arrests have been linked to the protests. Justin Trudeau did a delicate dance today as he fielded questions about the events south of the border. Here's David Cochrane on how the Prime Minister and the other party leaders are reacting to events.
The Prime Minister had to know the question was coming.
But we do have Donald Trump now calling for military action against protesters.
But it still seemed to catch him off guard.
I'd like to ask you what you think about that. And if you don't want to comment, what message do you think you're sending?
For 21 seconds, Justin Trudeau gathered his thoughts, picking every word carefully.
We all watch in horror and consternation what's going on in the United States. It is a time to pull people together, but it is a time to listen.
Trudeau spoke broadly about racism and injustice, but not directly about the use of tear gas and rubber bullets against protesters to clear a path for a presidential photo op.
Anti-black racism is happening here, everywhere in Canada, every single day.
Instead, Trudeau and other leaders looked inward to acknowledge racial injustice in Canada, to voice frustration.
You know what? People are done with pretty speeches. Particularly pretty speeches from people in power that could do something about it right now if they wanted to.
To promise change.
Because I want you to know that our government is listening. We hear your calls for justice, equality, and accountability.
With the U.S. in turmoil, it's no surprise that Trudeau would steer clear of provoking Trump. The Canada-U.S. border is closed, but still subject to delicate negotiations to ensure a steady supply of masks, medicine, and food can come to Canada. David Cochrane, CBC News, Ottawa.
Before we leave you tonight, a fascinating new visitor to Montreal has been making quite a splash around the city for several days now. Look at that. As you can see there, a wayward humpback whale was first spotted near Montreal's Old Port on Saturday, and it's been hanging around ever since. Marine experts say they've never seen a whale of this size so far south on the St. Lawrence River, and it may be disoriented, but so far it's shown no signs of any distress. Putting on quite the show there for people, and that's all for our show tonight on Here and Now. I'm Peter Cowan. I'll be back with you again tomorrow night. Take care.